Greetings, my fellow fanatics of the world. You are speaking with Gfanatic 94 and my trusty right-hand man, the Iron Noah.
Hello, everyone. Don't mind what's going to happen right here. I just
What the fuck are you doing?
There we go.
Oh,
Better now.
yeah, guys. Today, me and Noah are doing another video similar to our Gigan video that we made a while back. Where me and Noah are going to be comparing two different versions of the King of the Monsters himself, Godzilla. And, well, just like in our debate on the 1972 and Final Wars Gigans, me and Noah have decided to basically compare 2014 and 2019 together. This is gonna work exactly.
2019 slash
What's up?
2019 slash 2021. Even though the only difference between those two is that one is a little thicker,
A little.
but for the most part, they are the same design.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Um, so yeah, guys, this is gonna work pretty much the exact same way that our Gigan video worked. Um, where we are going to be reviewing these two different looks for Godzilla. Um, and since I prefer the 2014 design, I'm going to be talking about what I like about the 2019/21 design. But then I'm also going to be talking about why I prefer the 2014 design. And it's going to be the exact same way for Noah. Except his is going to be reversed, where he's going to be talking about what he likes about the 2014 design and why he prefers the 2019/21 design. So, Noah?
Be warned, I do love both designs, but I am going to, since the fanatic over here does quite like the 2014 more, I'm going to be the representative for 2019/21. So
Yeah, that, uh huh. Yeah, no, Noah likes them both. So yeah, we're basically just doing this because basically it's just a comparison between the two.
yeah, and of course, like you said as well, it's like the Gigan video.
Yeah. And on that note, Noah, do you want to begin or do you want me to?
First date goes first for the first movie.
You know what? Fair enough. Um, what I like about 2019. Okay, so first things first. I want to get it out of the way that I don't dislike the 2019 design. I really don't. I like 2019. I do. But at the same time, I just don't really feel like it was necessary to redesign Godzilla so majorly. Um, I really do like how muscular, how fucking absolutely badass his dorsal fins are. And quite frankly, I will admit that I do like just simply how much more robust and more capable in a fight 2019 seems compared to 2014. I know that that's not exactly accurate because the reason 2014 was as slow as he was in the movie was because he was coming out of hibernation, but details. Um
Hmm. Ooh, fun fact actually. For the 2014 design, has been some noticeable things that from the episodes of Legacy of Monarch and the 50s scenes before on the nuking, it is noticeable that he's skinnier and maybe a little shorter than he was in 2014.
yep,
So,
yet another nod
so you
as
know,
to this bastard's rapid evolution.
yeah, which was of course talked about in another episode
Yep,
or
the very
video.
last one. But one of the main things I really like the most about the Godzilla 2019 design slash 21 is just how radically different he is. Like just how radically different and like aggressive he is compared to 2014. Because 2014, yes, he was aggressive towards the Mutos, but in 2014, you actually got to see Godzilla go out of his way to protect people. I can't see 2019 or 2021 doing that shit. Fucking 2021
Especially
trampled people.
2021.
Yeah,
Especially 2021. He really didn't give a fuck about humans at that time. But then
right.
again,
No.
the humans, the humans were basically doing the fucking around and finding out.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
I don't think Goji really took that really well, so he said, I don't think I appreciate that. Gonna have to send you back a few centuries.
yeah. Yeah. But and yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really have a problem with the 2019 design. The only real problem I have is the fact that it is a redesign. The fact that it took an already fantastic design and people were hating on the 2014 design for no reason. So they were just like, you know, fuck it. Let's make them look a bit more like the classic Godzillas and hope that's okay. That's really the only problem I've ever had with the 2019/21 design, except for the fact that the 2021 design is just borderline fucking hypocritical. Uh, I can't
Mm.
stand how fat he is in that movie. Um, now let's get
He,
into
let's,
2014.
hold on. Let's not say fat. Let's just say thick with two C's. You're fine.
Okay, we'll just call him thick. Fine. But but yeah, no. Um
Godzilla's most Godzilla's model is thick, especially in Ultima's case. Oh,
oh fuck. Yeah. All right. Well, back to the main topic. So, yeah, those are the things I like about 2019. But now let's talk about 2014. I fucking adore the 2014 design, man. I absolutely love this thing. Like I explained in our GXK video, Godzilla 2014 is unmistakably Godzilla, but he's also entirely just unique and different to the point where it feels like you're watching a brand new story. I love the fact that he basically mimics sort of like a sauropod dinosaur. Those massive feet and those bunched up together toes makes him feel like, one, those legs are extremely powerful, so if he is able to wind up a kick with those things, you are going to have broken bones. And quite
definitely.
frankly, I know that people were complaining about his feet, but I really don't see the problem. I think that his feet were fine, and I think that his legs, though he wasn't exactly using them to their full capacity in the movie, I think that his legs are a perfect representation of just how powerful he could have been because they were muscular as hell, but they were also very slender. That and the simple
Mm.
fact that people were calling 2014 fat when he's very clearly not fat, he's muscular as hell. Um and I love his dorsal fins. I absolutely adored watching him in the movie with those things on his back because every time he popped up on screen, I was just like, "Oh, dude, this is my Godzilla. This motherfucker is just the bee's knees, the man's man." And those dorsal fins just made him pop out because they were unique and they were not nearly as big as other versions of Godzilla. So that got me thinking, holy shit, Godzilla is going to be amazing in further movies if they continue this timeline, which, to be fair, that was a safe assumption. And now we get
Mm.
to his tail and atomic breath. First of all, let's talk about his tail because that part is actually a physical difference. Um, his tail, I like it. I like the fact that his tail is long and has a pointed tip because it's absolutely like it gives him the appearance of sort of like an iguana type creature. And if you know iguanas, you know how powerful those motherfucking tails can be. So, ca- uh, call me stupid if you want. I prefer the long, more like narrow tipped tail over the like ball tipped tail that he was given in 2019. Now we get to one of the biggest complaints about 2014, his atomic breath. Why the fuck this is even an issue is honestly offensive to me because, guys, in the fucking movie, it is explained that the Mutos have motherfucking EMP abilities. It is explained in detail in the 2014 movie how the Mutos are capable of EMP capabilities, which, all things considered, is a natural counter to Godzilla's atomic breath. Not that an EMP attack from mankind would be able to stop Godzilla's atomic breath, but an EMP from a monster whose species is specifically designed to hunt down Godzilla's species? That makes total fucking sense. Cause if you're a monster species that's specifically designed to hunt the king of the monsters, it would make sense that the motherfuckers would develop an anti-fucking Godzilla weapon of their own in the form of an EMP. So, again, why the hell his atomic breath is even a problem is just baffling to me. And yeah, dude, there is one more thing I would like to talk about these particular Godzillas, but we need to save that for the last two sections of this video. So now, Noah, it's your turn. What do you like about 2014, and why do you prefer 2019/21 more?
Okay, well, I will say a lot of the stuff you just said, mainly because, especially revolving around the tail. Because I do love how long and the pointed tip of his tail is. Because by now, a lot of people should know I do love the Millennium designs. One of them being is how sharp they are, and of course, the pointed tail. I love it when Godzilla has a pointed tail. Yeah, I don't mind him having a rounded tail. I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. It's just I do prefer the pointed tail, which makes me love, and also like 2014's design, and of course, as you said yourself, it's a fresh look. It's a new look for Godzilla, yet still recognizable as the big G man. And of course, with the sauropod feats, I'm not as enthusiastic about them, mainly because I have grown around to Godzilla having more of a reptilian feat, to which he does gain later on in the King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs Kong movie. He does have more reptilian like feet, which I do quite like more. Which really I don't have unfortunately I don't have much to say about 2014 because you basically already talked about them. So I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I like the 2014 design. I like its fresh new look and how unique it is. And as I said before in the previous video, how his dorsal plates are basically showing his personality. At the start, you can clearly tell that they're all flow nice and evenly. They're simple yet still sharp and pointy, knowing that this Godzilla is something that's still something to be reckoned with. But they also represent balance and how even they are, as this Godzilla is a keeper of the balance. That's his title as King of the Monsters. And of course, as I said before, I am all down for the dorsal plates. Which
Yeah.
now we go as to why I would say I might prefer and probably do prefer the 2019 design because not only that, it does show his evolution and how much stronger he can possibly get. Because in the new, not a new, hell no, it's not new anymore. But in his second appearance in Godzilla King of the Monsters, where he has all new dorsal plates, new feet, which I do prefer because they resemble more of a reptile basically, which no slander to the more sauropod-like feet. It makes sense for such a huge creature, but the his feet in 2019 just give me more of that Godzilla feel.
Okay.
However, I will say I do prefer the pointed tip, which I do prefer the pointed tip, but the 2014 one, but the 2019 tail is not bad. It still resembles Godzilla. It's still very Godzilla-esque tail. So I
And on
won't
that
talk
note,
much
I'm
about
gonna grab my Hiya Toys Godzilla 2019 figure right here and just start petting it.
that. But yeah, and now to the dorsal plates, which of course, everybody's gonna notice are different compared to the two designs. And I myself, me being a sucker for the bigger dorsal plates, as of course I'm always a sucker and mainly look at the dorsal plates of a Godzilla, I do like how they are bigger and well more chaotic speaking because
More pronounced.
in this yeah more pronounced because in this whole fucking series of movies, it is repeatedly shown that Godzilla is a creature that evolves. Not to Shin's extent, but he is a creature that evolves, and his dorsal represent that. Him, of course. And if you look at it this way too, because in these movies, we obviously see that in each movie, Godzilla is progressively stronger. And while yes, in the lore basis, Godzilla's had his 2014 look for centuries, but in terms of what we've seen in the movies, I like to think that each movie is a progression of Godzilla's own power and strength as he's also getting taller.
Yeah.
Because his dorsal plates not only are bigger, but he now has the added factor of which was mainly added in this movie of them having the intimidation display, which I, in my own opinion, fucking love because that's something we don't. Because we only see Godzilla's dorsal plates light up when he uses atomic breath. Seeing them light up without the atomic breath is nice because it just gives that feel of Godzilla having control over his atomic abilities, which we'll talk about the whole atomic breath debacle in a bit. Because
And it does
in
also characterize him
2019,
a bit more easily.
yes, and we see in the form of this atomic breath when he was fighting Ghidorah, it's a lot bigger than compared to his 2014. While yes, of course, his 2014 look probably could have had the same amount of atomic power, but due to the fact that the moodles were there, he probably couldn't fully extend it. And also the fact that he woke up from a nap, which I have a lot. I'm a little. I'm a little less inclined to believe that due to the fact that well, we Legacy of Monsters, he was awake after the bombing.
Well, he was woken
So
up in 1954.
yeah, basically. But basically, yeah. So just the progression of power with his atomic breath, and then later on, we see that in Godzilla vs. Kong, his atomic breath is a lot more refined and more beam-like.
Yeah.
So it definitely shows emphasis and evolution of his own control, per se.
You're absolutely right,
So
my brother.
one of the reasons I do quite like his second look is because it just shows his progression of character and power.
And you also got to remember another reason why his body may be looking so dramatically different is because he has gotten extremely large power-ups since he woke up in 1954 because he's been nuked what, twice?
Basically, yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
And we've
it makes sense for him to be growing more rapidly in power after he woke up because now humans have a way to directly power him up instead of just having to watch him do it over the course of a few million years.
yeah, essentially. So not only that, but you just again, and then won't talk about this too much, but in the new GXK trailer, he of course has a new look with sharper dorsal plates and just overall new, but it does show his progression of power and character.
Indeed.
So for the most part, I do quite enjoy this whole Godzilla's pick of just evolution and power, which is why well, I really didn't have much of a choice in the matter. But I am the stand-in for Godzilla's 2019/2021 look.
All right.
So there's that.
right. Well, on that note, we now have one more aspect of these two specific Godzillas to discuss: how they were handled in the movie, and which one you think was portrayed better in their respective film. So, do you want to go first in this one, Noah, or do you want me to?
Since I just went on, you go ahead.
All right. Well, bro, I'm gonna be honest here. This is a close one because both looks for the character and both stories that are portrayed handle Godzilla excellently. But bro, I fucking can't help it. 2014, man, I gotta give it to 2014 because, first of all, 2014 encapsulates everything that I've ever loved about Godzilla. Like, okay, you know me, and though you and I do prefer radically different versions of Godzilla, you prefer Godzilla when he's more of a destroyer of sorts when he's punishing mankind. I prefer Godzilla
Yeah.
in sort of like the heroic light. I prefer Godzilla more when he's like the big badass superhero. And in 2014, it's perfectly suited for him to be the hero in that movie. One, not only does God, and I'm sure that I'm the only nerd that's ever fucking noticed this, but hey, being a nerd is a good thing. Shut your fucking mouth. Um, but I'm sure
Hey,
I'm
hey,
the
I'm
only.
not complaining.
What's up?
I'm not going against it. I'm a hella nerd when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, but like I said, I am a massive nerd when it comes to shit like this, and you'll notice that in 2014, after he caused the tsunami in Hawaii, he never approached the shore that quickly again because he fucking knew that it would cause massive amounts of destruction and collateral damage. And not only that, but you can also see in the movie, in the 2014 movie, yes, there were kids that died on that bridge, but that's the fucking military's fault because Godzilla was trying to fucking help. He literally fucking blocked missiles from hitting the fucking bridge. And the only reason that this Golden Gate Bridge, even got damaged in the first place was just simply put because the military wouldn't stop attacking him.
Yeah, they really wouldn't.
Right. So what the fuck was Godzilla supposed to do in that situation? He tried not to fucking smash through the bridge. But when these motherfuckers are peppering him with missiles and he's got a job to do, what the fuck else is he supposed to do?
True that.
But now that brings me to my favorite scene in the 2014 movie, the scene where Godzilla smashes the Muto into the building, kills the Muto, and then the building starts to fall. Godzilla, knowing that there are civilians underneath him, he didn't know what that building was going to do to him. He didn't know that he could survive the fucking building falling on him. Because this is the first time he's ever really encountered buildings or anything like that. This is the first time he's encountered man made structures of this magnitude. Godzilla didn't know he would survive. He straight up looked at the tiny things below him and was like, I can't let them die. And he fucking used his body to shield them. I rest my case. 2014, to me at least, was portrayed the best, and he was, the design and his personality was perfect for the movie, and I absolutely fucking adore that. Now, Noah, it's your turn. Which of these two do you prefer in terms of story wise, and who do you think executed their role more efficiently?
Okay, well, as you yourself did say, we both like our Godzillas in different ways. You with the more heroic Goji, which I think it's best portrayed as Showa because my man's definitely a hero there.
Oh, yeah.
But I myself, in basically like the more embodiment of destruction Godzilla, because well, that's what he is. He is the embodiment of nuclear warfare. So I like my Godzilla being destructive. which I will say wasn't shown much in Godzilla King of the Monsters, but when Godzilla versus Kong rolled around, I was hyped as shit, especially when that first trailer came out and I saw him destroying stuff. Well, not only it made me curious as to what happened, but it got me hyped as all hell.
Yeah.
Because again, with the whole design, his new design looking more like an iconic Godzilla with a bigger dorsal plate and rounded tail and the more reptile-like feet, it gives the more iconic Godzilla vibes. So, put that with the fact that in GVK, where he's on a more destructive rampage due to Mechagodzilla,
Yeah.
it, in my eyes, works a lot better. But then, of course, in Godzilla King of the Monsters, where I'd say he's more to his 2014 self, to where he's not causing much destruction and only appearing due to the fact that there's a danger. That danger being Ghidorah, which
True.
honestly,
True. But
It's
don't for
honestly Godzilla King of the Monsters. Godzilla King of the Monsters, and its core is literally a Showa-esque movie with the whole kaiju rumble
yeah.
action. It really is more of that. Which
True.
again,
But
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Which I just well yeah. We'll talk about that later. But I feel like in my own personal taste, I do like his character in GVK more. Only thing I didn't like is that how much he was getting bodied by Mecha. I didn't like that part.
yeah. Yeah, especially
He
because
got
Mecha looks so
bodied.
fucking ugly.
I mean, the body of Mecha doesn't look bad. It's just they could have gone for a better head design. Honestly,
Head and arms, yeah.
they could. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, I liked his character a lot more in GVK. I liked that more Godzilla destructive routes. Like you know me, I love that shit for Godzilla. That's why I
Yeah.
love GLK so much. And of course, -1 is definitely rearing to be one of those
Oh fuck
top
yeah.
three. Yeah. But yeah, just in its entirety, Godzilla to the core, in my mind, is the representative of nuclear warfare.
Yeah.
So I'd say in terms of lore stances and based things, I'd say King of the Monsters. Of course, if you did read the comic book Godzilla Aftershock, it does fit more in line with his character of being the keeper of peace and balance, with
Yeah.
him not being too destructive, but focusing on the threat of Ghidorah.
Well, one thing I do want to point out that you mentioned, bro, is that you prefer God, like you just said, you prefer Godzilla as more of a destroyer. Um, but don't forget, in 2019, it was heavily implied that Godzilla is like he may not have a problem with humans, but he is more than willing to fuck humans up if they screw with him. Because when we first see Godzilla in the movie, after the flashback of Emma Russell, fuck that bitch. But the first time we actually see Godzilla in the movie, he's using his intimidation display on the humans because he doesn't trust them.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
Which, to be
out of
fair,
out of out of
to be
everyone in
fair,
the movie, there's only one person that Godzilla actually goes out of his way to save, and I'm pretty sure that's only because she's integral to the plot, Madison Russell.
yeah,
So
well, to be fair, in that scene, this Godzilla does know the fact that humans will probably shoot at him, and as we learn in the dialogue, they did have guns at the ready to shoot.
yeah,
And also at the fact that it was implied that Godzilla wasn't shooting his intimidation display at them, but also something else, that being Ghidorah, of course, because it was implied that he wasn't using it for them. It
yeah.
was implied
Oh,
that at
I
least.
know that. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, as like, fucking it was implied that Godzilla is more than willing to kill people if they're in his way to get to his goal.
Well, that's definitely more or less than GVK, but of course, in my mind, like, he's a keeper of peace and balance. That's why Moodles and Ghidorah are fucking dead.
Yeah.
So humans being humans, they can definitely very easily piss off Godzilla in this timeline because you know us humans, we just love to fuck around and find out.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
honestly,
fuck.
I feel like it works for this Godzilla that he would probably attack humans if they did something to basically harm or drastically might pose a danger to, dare I say, the circle of life on
Yeah.
planet Earth. Because again and again, it is implied that he is there to maintain the balance.
Right.
Godzilla is Mother Nature's weapon, per se.
Right. He's the avatar. He's the fucking avatar of the world. He's nature's chosen warrior, God's chosen warrior. So, you know.
And of course, in GVK, he really didn't care about harming humans because, as a matter of fact, it was the humans causing it to be a danger with the creation of Mechagodzilla and the use of Ghidorah. So that, in
I'm
my,
so tempted to go political here, but I'm refraining.
but in that movie, it is Godzilla is kind of in the right to that. And not only that, he wasn't attacking cities. He was indeed targeting Apex facilities. He
Right, Apex
was.
Cybernetics, because that's where the signals were coming from, and that's mainly where the most of the energy from Mechagodzilla and by extension Ghidorah was still remaining.
Yeah, so because we see him walk past all these humans and cities, he didn't care. He walked past them, but if they did engage in him, he would fight back, as seen in his first appearance in GBK. He fought
Right,
back against the
when
planes, which
the
of
jets were
course
shooting
were
at him and he was blasting and slapping them out of the air.
yeah, which it is self defense. It's Godzilla.
Yeah,
It's self defense.
it's self-defense, he
So
says.
so Godzilla is kind of in the right here. Well, kind of with the whole Apex situation. They were fucking around and finding out.
Indeed.
So I feel like this his appearance works well for these movies because not only does the dorsal plates represent his more ferocity and his growing power, it still represents his balance. Because while yes, they're a lot bigger and a little more pronounced, they still have this more uh yeah, this more balanced feel to them. Because these are still legendary Godzilla dorsal plates. If in 2014 they were definitely a lot more even and balanced. They kind of aren't in G and King of the Monsters and GVK, but it was mainly his main body. To be
Yeah,
fair, though, they his dorsal plates were shattered by
yeah,
Widow Prime and extension. They regrew, but it is just to represent on what Godzilla can do. If need be, he can be the embodiment of destruction as represented by his dorsal plates with the more chaotic look.
yeah,
So with this new design, it definitely works for the later films.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. Um, the some of the best scenes of the MonsterVerse so far are in Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Go ahead and check that out. And yeah, there's only a little bit of 2014 scene in that show. And then a little bit of 2019. Godzilla hardly gets any fucking screen time, but you know, whatever. Um,
Well, to be fair, the show really isn't called Godzilla, so
I know. Well, I'm not trying to say that, but yeah, you know, the point still
it's
stands
just
is that that
Godzilla
show
is
has
mainly
some of
just
the best monster action in the whole series that I've seen so far. So,
what I like about Monarch. Definitely not the story, but what I like what I like about Monarch is the fact that Godzilla's presence is very well known.
yeah,
He is somewhere out there, and he could show up at any moment. Am I allowed to say some spoilers?
yes,
Okay, because especially in the last episode, he just straight up shows up. He's like, the fuck's going on here?
Right?
He just shows up. Like his presence is there, but sometimes it's unexpected whether or not he will show up. Which, granted, it is very much a Godzilla fashion where he just shows up like a natural disaster out of nowhere.
Yeah, just like in -1 too.
Yeah, yeah, especially -1. He appears, and it was definitely implied that Godzilla basically is a natural disaster because the people didn't know. They didn't see Godzilla coming. And so he is the natural disaster, and also that movie being the recreation of the 1954 in its own right basically represents the nukes of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, where the citizens were unsuspected of it and just got hit by a nuke. Godzilla
Yeah.
represents that. He's a force of nature, and so like that, and that's especially in Monarch Legacy of Monsters. He shows up, and he lets you know he shows up.
Right, you don't know he's there until he pops up, and then all of a sudden the party starts, and it doesn't stop until he says it does.
Yeah, Godzilla's presence can definitely just be concealed until he decides to step in.
Yeah.
Or if the humans decide to just wake him up, like in his awakening scene, he's like, oh, I was just taking a dirt nap. What the fuck
Uh,
happened?
yeah. Even though that scene does kind of fly in the face of a lot of the fucking lore of the 2019 of between 2014 and 2021, but details. Since when does the
Yeah.
Monsterverse have a fucking airtight alibi?
Yeah. Which of course, I'm going. Since you did bring it up, I am going to mention a bit. I would have heavily preferred that they did keep it to the fact that it was in 2014 and we could at least see Widow Prime, but the show did take place in 2015, which I'm wondering now how, because I still remember in King of the Monsters where they said Godzilla hasn't been seen in 5 years. So,
Well, he was in the Hollow Earth with that portal that he went through, so
I mean, it's not really the Hollow Earth because it's theorized that that whole dimension is a space in between the surface and the Hollow Earth.
fair enough. Well, it's still
Because
away from prying eyes.
yeah, but then again, somebody must have probably seen Godzilla straight up go into that fucking portal. It's like, hmm. Unless there was a portal somewhere else in the ocean that nobody knew of, that the portals are connected. Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But we're going way too much into speculation here, and we're getting off topic. So,
Yeah.
Godzilla 2019/21 and the Godzilla 2014 designs. Let's get this final point made. We're not trying to sit here and say that, oh, 2014 is better than 2019, here's why. And, oh, 2019 is better than 2014, here's why. And if you disagree, you're stupid. Once again, just like with the just like with our video on the Showa and the Final Wars Gigan, this video is nothing more than just to get an opinion from both sides of the coin, from both perspectives who prefer these two designs separately. That's all this is. This isn't meant to start a fight. This isn't meant to be controversial or anything, which is why I avoided political topics. So that's all this is. This is just a friendly discussion between two dudes who disagree on one specific factor of these two separate entities.
Well, they're the same entity, but design.
Well, yeah, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Noah, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, let's just say I do quite look forward to seeing his evolutionary process, as I keep mentioning for Legendary Goji, his evolutionary process and GXK.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Because boy, as I definitely did say in the previous episode, he looks like he's gonna be a lot more ferocious.
Oh fuck yeah.
Where you going? you go.